Welcome to this very special edition reading. What we are doing here is we are looking at the energy and the zodiac sign for the Lion's Gate. The way that I am intending that this reading will work as a beneficial tool for you is to have you look at the qualities and characteristics and traits that come with the zodiac sign. So when we look at those traits, part of what we're looking at is what sign, what element is it? And by looking at the element qualities, that in a very fundamental level gives us an idea of what type of energy we're looking at. I don't want these videos to be insanely long, and so I will go ahead and put some of those additional qualities in the description box of the video. You can look at that to help you determine how you might work with this particular reading. The next thing that I am needing to say is that we contain all 12 zodiac signs within us, and they come out in our lives in different ways. They have different areas that they govern, different ways that they affect us, and the degree to which these qualities show up in our lives can be different. But the beauty of how these readings are going to work is that you are going to be in control and looking at, as this portal opens, as this Lion Gate comes up. That's a reminder, I totally meant to do this at the very beginning. If you are new to the Lion's Gate portal, the 8-8 portal, I have created an intro video that will talk about that. I will link it also in the description box of this video. Well, Lion's Gate portal, August 8th, the period that I talked about, it's a great portal that helps us with manifesting. So as you look at your life right now and you look at, from the time of you watching this video, what is it that you're wanting to really manifest in your life? And if you happen to be watching it before a Lion's Gate, either the one that's happening this year or whatever year you happen to be watching this video, the idea behind this set of readings is you get to go into your personal astrology chart and you get to look at where your signs are, what they govern, how they can help you, and you get to make those choices about, okay, what extra areas of guidance am I looking for right now that can really help me maximize this manifestation energy? And then you can take the reading, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. As with all readings, all advice, all opinions, it's kind of the same. It's about being in your power and really aligning yourself with what feels right for you and letting go of the things that don't. So this reading is for our Sagittarius energy. So I'm asking please for energy and messages that are going to help Sagittarius with the energy, the portal of the Lion's Gate, with manifestations and helping build the lives that the individual wants to build, that we as individuals want to build. Okay. So Sagittarius, you are also starting your reading with one rune that is on its side. So there is a little bit of challenge energy, but challenge energy also, remember, is energy that they're like secret little invitations that help us for growth. It's kind of like, hey, look over here. These are areas of influence or areas of impact that have something to offer. So that's the kind of energy that comes up when a rune flips on its side. And for you, there is that rune, and then there is a rune that is laying on top of it that is not facing up, but I am going to pull that one because they are interconnected like that. Those two are not touching any other runes. So this is a type of energy that, without even seeing what the runes are, just looking at the energy of the way everything fell, this is a type of protective energy, or a type of energy of like holding on. So there's already a sense of what is going to be beneficial for you in helping with this manifestation energy or work that you're doing during this portal, or for whatever reasons you're watching this video to help with manifestation. My intention is for it to go with the Lionsgate, but you could theoretically use it in any form. That's the beauty of these readings, is they're very multiplicitous. Is that even a word? I guess we'll find out. So the rune that came out on its side is Awaz, and Awaz is all about our alignment. So this very much is about really tapping into paying attention to your intuition, what feels right to you, what doesn't feel right to you. The things that feel right, cultivate them, bring them in, build them up, make them work with you, with the flow of energy. The things that don't, let go of them, move them out of your space. Understand that you don't have to carry everything. You don't have to carry everything all the time. So Awaz, with this alignment energy, what's coming through too is an understanding that you get to take breaks. It's okay. When you are working through something and you're trying to realize, especially for larger manifestations, things that take a little bit more in terms of the various resources, time, money, love, energy, etc., there can be a pacing. And so as you're going through these processes, when you are feeling fatigued, when you're feeling tired, when you're feeling disconnected, those are signs, those are moments for you to take a step back and just really, set things down for a minute, just kind of regroup. That's the energy that was coming through. The rune that was sitting on top of it, also facing down, was Sawelo. Sawelo is all about sun energy. So this very much is about your core power. This very much is about the life-giving support of the sun, of light. We hear the phrase often, love and light, and I know there's some ridicule about that phrase and different things. And it's because it's a big topic. It's because there's change happening and there are things moving within that process. But the importance of it, the reason it's coming through for your reading, Sagittarius, is because this concept of light, this concept of illumination, this concept of things vibrating at higher frequencies, this concept of things moving into alignment, that things get to be easy, that when things are in flow, they're easy. When we are in flow, things come to us naturally. We are in more of a receptive state. So this is a type of energy of really that's asking you to play with these concepts, to kind of feel them out and see how they are working out in your everyday life, in your everyday experiences. I always have to get close so I can look down. My setup is a little interesting. So there are times when I'm trying to get the information and then my forehead comes super close, but that's okay. That just means I have my eye on you in a good way, in a good way. So the next thing that is drawing my attention is you actually have a series of 4 runes that are interconnected as well. You have Perthro, which is all about taking chances. This is about being in the quantum realm, that all possibilities exist, that anything is possible, that everything is possible. So there is a richness in this. There is also energy that can feel heavier. It's a little more of a fear energy, because if anything is possible, we get into these conditional states of thinking. If this, then this. And while that type of thinking does have benefit, and it does help us structure and organize, there is a sense coming through for you that realizing or being aware of these moments where you're in this conditional thinking that is going to open the way for you to be able to start to reimagine or even imagine your life and your experience in a little bit of a different way. Next to it, we have Ingwaz, which is seed energy, but sitting on top of it, we have Oruz and Hagalaz. So at the very base, we have this seed energy or this building energy. And when we look at what was sitting between that and Oruz, which is our creation energy, we had Hagalaz. Hagalaz is our hail energy. And when we look at the elements and we look at the different interplay that these things have in our lives, hail carries with it air element because it is moved in the wind, but it also contains water element because it is ice. So this is some sort of movement or growth, conflict, challenge between the head and the heart. So what is ultimately coming between your creation, which is that Oruz energy, what's coming between your creative powers and what you're trying to build with that seed energy is this Hagalaz energy. So again, this is going back and really tapping into practicing tuning in with yourself more. And I know another thing that just came through was going back to your intuition, and that there are a lot of buzzwords out there right now, but it really is about the overall feeling of everything so far. It's like we take one look at the reading, we go one step, and then there's some sort of block or obstacle and we're looking at another step. Then we move on, we see something, and it's very interconnected, but it very much is a sense of learning to trust yourself, learning to trust the processes that you engage in, the processes that you create, the processes that you participate in. That having trust in those is going to help you understand what directions to go, what movements to follow as you are working on this type of manifestation energy for yourself. Now, we also have, there's a line or a sequence, but it's kind of offset in different directions. So there really is also coming through a sense of thinking outside of the box, of really trying to gain different perspectives, or trying to, like I said, imagine or reimagine, or putting yourself in a situation that is in that chance zone that's a little bit outside of what you're comfortable with. That is coming through in the way I'm seeing everything lined up along the rest of the runes that came out. Now, the sequence of these runes, we'll look at that really quick. The progression of this energy you have on this side, you have Elhaz and Wunjo. So Elhaz is our protection energy, Wunjo is our joy energy. So right there, if we're looking at the chakra energy just came through, right there we're looking at root chakra with Elhaz, with that grounding and that protection. And then we're looking at our crown chakra with Wunjo. So we're looking at having both the base and the grounding and the ability to dream, the ability to move into the realms that bring us joy and pleasure, the moments that bring us satisfaction. Whether that be listening to a child giggle, you know, that tends to get people, and it's because there's something so pure about that experience. These two foundations are moving across, and the next one they connect up to is Ansu's. Now, Ansu's governs throat chakra. So there is an element about communicating. There is an element about, again, for another phrase, speaking your truth, or not being afraid to vocalize what's important to you, what makes sense to you. And there's a sense too of conveying these ideas. There's a uniqueness in the way that you experience life and that you understand the world. And that learning how to communicate that is going to be beneficial for you. Next to Antus, we had Ehwaz. Ehwaz is our horse energy. And horse energy is a very transcendent energy. On the one hand, again, it's kind of like we saw at the beginning of this line with Elhaz for protection and Wunjo for the crown chakra. Elhaz, with that horse energy, is actually sitting above the crown in our soul star chakra. So this really is connection into spiritual alignment. But horses have a very fundamental impact on us as humans over the life of humanity, of our history. And so there's an element about horse or horse energy that is going to be helpful for you as you move in this process of aligning things up and kind of like playing and testing with yourself, what works for me, what doesn't, what do I want, what do I not want. Am I willing to hold on to this belief? Does it serve me? Is it of detriment to others? Like, how really connecting in with that. Now, what all of this led to is a layout of 3 that are going to finish up this reading. And the first of the 3 is Yera. Now, Yera represents a longer cycle. It represents the year, specifically the time of year being the harvest. So following that, or sitting next to it, was Gebo. And Gebo is about equal give and receive, equal giving and receiving, give and take. And then it was all of those 2 were sitting next to or in conjunction with Berkana, and Berkana represents our birch tree. So this is very much about our feminine energy. The birch tree is known as the white woman of the wood, and there's a lot of medicinal associations with the birch and the eyes that form on the trunk of the birch as she grows. And it's just being a deciduous tree, losing leaves during the fall and growing them again in the spring. And remember, this was tied into Yera, which was that harvest energy. So this really, again, is understanding about, like, you get to move through the cycles and you get to understand the impact of every step along the way. So the important iconography for you is going to be horse iconography, the birch tree, element of birch. If you are able to connect with those digitally, in person, in your dream time, however, essential oils for the birch, just different things like that. However you can connect in with that type of energy, I'm getting a feeling is going to be a source of support for you to help you keep in alignment as you're moving through this process. It really does feel like a sense of out with the old and with the new for this reading for you. So there is an understanding that I pulled a card as I was talking, and maybe I shouldn't have done that because it flipped and then it got me all going in a different direction. But it really is a sense of moving through the energy, moving with the energy, not being in resistance to it, and understanding what that feels like, and understanding that those are the moments that you get to, like, tapping into that is how you get to make decisions about action taking. And when you start taking action that aligns with how things are flowing, with your intentions, with the chances you are taking, with everything you're trying to build, that's when the real magic is going to start to come through for you. Now, the card that came through for you is Butterfly Clan, and this deals with mental clarity. So we had earlier Hagalaws, the division between head and heart, right? Like understanding what this direction is taking us. It also deals with awakening and beauty, and it's the number 8. It's inverted on my screen, but I will show a picture of it and your runes here briefly in just a second. So what all of this is saying, when I look at everything together, the butterfly really is coming back to what came through when I was talking about the birch tree being deciduous and understanding the timing and the place of things, that you get to exist in one way and then you get to exist in another way, and all of those ways of existence are correct so long as you are tapping into your heart center, so long as you are making sure that you're aligning with what truly resonates with you, what feels good, what makes you come alive. That is what I have for your reading. I want to thank you so much for attending. I want to thank our guides, and I want to thank the runes. I do have one last little bit of information coming up here, but I do look forward to seeing you in future readings. Thank you so much for attending this reading, spending time with me, and most importantly, spending time with yourself to know yourself better and to be more in your power as you live your life. If you are interested in learning the runes, I am actually creating a class that will be launching shortly after the Lionsgate, so middle of August, I'm thinking. I have an email list set up. If you are interested in that, sign up for the email list. Link will be in the description box, and that will give you all the information you need in order to be able to participate.